Hey guys, it's Kara from iStampin.com. Thanks for joining me on another one of my paper and ink sketches. Today we are going to be working with sketch 11. And if this is your first time joining me on one of my sketch tutorials, welcome. Twice a month the paper and ink sketch is released, and what I do is I create a card using the sketch. Sometimes I copy the sketch pretty much exactly, other times I use it as an inspiration and I come up with my own design. So that's what I did with today's card. But you are always able to download the PDF if you head on over to my blog, which is www.istampin.com, and if you click on today's post, which today is December 7th, you'll be able to download the PDF so that you can print it off, keep it for your records. And then at the same time, I always link the former paper and ink sketch projects that I've done. So at the bottom of today's post, you'll be able to see sketches 1 through 10. So if you would like to go back and see the first sketch through 10, you're able to do that all in one spot. All right, so let's get started. What I did today is made a birthday card. I am in desperate need of birthday cards, and the stamp set that I'm using today is called Sweet Stack. You can find this in our annual catalog. I think it was new this year, the catalog that came out in June. I haven't used it a whole bunch, but when I was looking through all of my stamp sets to make today's card, I was like, this one is just too cute. I loved the balloon, and I loved how it said celebrate good times, because, you know, it could actually be used for other things other than a birthday card, but I desperately needed to make a birthday card. So you can see here that I went ahead and copied the oval. So I used our layering oval framelits, and I layered it with a scalloped oval in our silver glimmer paper. I thought that kind of gave it a little festive look for it being a birthday. This part here, I changed up. I made it a banner, and I did a little bit of embossing. I'll show you how I did that, and I wrapped some of the crushed curry baker's twine around the banner. I also popped up the celebrate. That was actually pretty easy fussy cutting that I did, but this card comes together really quickly. This is our note card size card, so these measure 3.5 by 5. I think it's a great size to be able just to write a simple birthday note on the inside. All right, so let's get started. The first thing that you'll want to do, let me put the sketch off to the side. Oh, and there are measurements here. I did change mine up a little bit, and I will let you know what they are as I get to that point. So the first thing that I did is I just got out one of our note cards. You get 20 to a set, and they come with matching envelopes, which is really nice. And this comes in 2 different colors. You can either get Whisper White or you can get Crumb Cake, which, like I said, this is a really nice size card. The next thing that you're going to do is to get out a piece of designer series paper. This comes from our designer series paper stack. This is in the Settles collection. This is Calypso Coral. So this designer series paper is just 1/4 inch smaller than the front of the card base. So this measures 3 by 4 3/4. And I'm just going to adhere that using snail. Got some flyaway snail. There we go. And what you want to do is just make sure that it's lined up equally on all 4 sides. Okay, that looks good. Okay, so the next thing that I did is I cut a strip of Calypso Coral cardstock. This measures 1 inch, and this is about 5 inches long, but I'm not going to have it be this long. And then what I did is I cut a piece of Whisper White cardstock 3/4 of an inch, and I think it's about the same length. It's actually a little bit shorter. But what I did is I used our softly falling texture impression embossing folder. I just wanted this to have a little bit of interest on it, and I just thought the dots were just so pretty. But what I did is I didn't want the really concentrated part of the embossing folder where all the dots are. I kind of wanted it up here where you can see here that it just kind of isn't you know, the pattern is kind of sporadic. So then what you'll do is you'll just put your plain piece of cardstock in the embossing folder and then run this through using your Big Shot die cut machine or whatever die cut machine that you have. So what I'm going to do is I want to notch here in my sample card. You see that I've notched the ends on both of them and that I've layered them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get out my banner triple punch and just slide this in here and just notch one of the ends. I'm going to do the same thing with this one, and this one is 3/4 of an inch wide. So I'm going to make sure the center channel is an inch wide. So I just want to make sure that it is even on both sides so that my notch looks good. Okay, that looks good. So what I want is I want the notches to be layered down here. So I'm going to go ahead and put snail on the back side of this paper. And then come in and adhere that down. And I want it centered on the Calypso coral strip. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach it where it's flush up here. But I'm going to kind of like look at it and just kind of estimate where I want to cut off the strip, and that looks about right. So let me just kind of take my scissors and go like that, and then I'm just going to trim this off using my paper trimmer. So it's going to look like that. That looks good. So then the next thing that I'm going to do is take my crushed curry baker's twine, and there's the end, and just I don't know, cut about 3 segments off, and I call the segments where the bends are. So 1, 2, 3. I think my scissors are getting dull. And then what I'm going to do is just wrap this around the banner a few times. Let me get a little bit more. Just wrap that around a few times and then tie a bow. And that just gives this banner just a little bit more interest. And as I'm tying the bow, I've been meaning to mention this the last couple of videos, but I just keep forgetting. You know, with Christmas, I need to do this. I need a little bit more. You may have to do this. You may kind of have to fiddle around with it. With Christmas and you know, Hanukkah, other holidays that are coming up, I offer gift certificates. So if you have friends who enjoy making crafty projects and love Stampin' Up! Products, and you just don't know what to get them, consider a gift certificate through me. And then of course, if you are a person that absolutely loves Stampin' Up! And know that family, significant others, whatnot, have a hard time shopping for you, just let them know to get in contact with me. My gift certificates are beautiful. I print them out and I send them to you, or I can send the PDF, and it can be in any value. This offer is just through me, so just so you know. So the offer is just through me, and actually I need to, there we go. So I'm just trimming off the tails here. So if they do purchase a gift card, then you'll just shop through me on my online store. But I'll link all the details about how to do a gift certificate in today's blog post. Okay, so it's going to look like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pop this up on dimensionals. And then we can get to our stamping. So just put a few down this way. I think that should be good. Okay, so that's going to be flush with the designer series paper. All right, so if we look at our sketch, I mimicked this part. I did my banner just a little bit different. So now we're going to be working on the oval shape. And there's always tips here. These tips are really nice if it kind of gives you, if you're kind of stumped, read over those tips and that may help you out. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do our stamping. And like I said, we're going to be using this image right here from Sweet Stack. The two colors that I'm using are Crushed Curry and Old Olive. So I've already got my stamp on a block, and I've just grabbed some Whisper White cardstock. The other thing that you want to make sure that you have is your Stampin' Pierce mat behind you, or something that's going to give you some cushion. This has a solid image. That balloon is really solid, so you need something that's going to cushion your stamp to make sure you get a good impression. All right, so let's ink this up. Okay, now what you want to do is clean the stamp off, because you're going to stamp it again in Crushed Curry just to get the Celebrate part. So let me get out the Crushed Curry. Go ahead and close this one. And I don't need to stamp the entire balloon, so I'm just going to ink up just the top part here. And then just come, let's see, I'll just come right here and stamp it again. Next, what you're going to do is to get out your layering oval framelits. You're going to need the plain framelits as well as the scalloped. And you are going to find the oval that coordinates with this shape. So that looks like that's about right. So this is, and of course I don't have a ruler on me, this is about 3 inches long. So that's the one that you're going to want to use to cut out on the Big Shot. Then find the coordinating scallop and cut that out in silver glimmer paper. So when you're all done, it's going to look like this. Okay, so then the next thing that you're going to want to do is just fussy cut out this part here that says Celebrate. And I am not good at fussy cutting, but this wasn't too bad. So I'm just going to cut this out. And the trick to fussy cutting, here in my sample, you can see that I followed the lettering, and I cut out, I went around the B and the L, the top of those letters. And the trick to this is to move the paper, not your scissors. So let me see if I can do this halfway decent on camera. And then also having a sharp pair of scissors is also key, and our snips are excellent for this. Y'all don't realize this is like high time pressure for me. Well, I didn't do too bad. Whoops. And so what I'm doing is I'm just following the line. Not bad at all. Not the best, but not bad for on pressure on camera. And then I'm just going to come right below and just cut along that yellow line where it says Good Times. And then I'm just going to come straight and just cut on each end. So hopefully that gives you an idea. It's very simple. Not bad at all, not some major fussy cutting. But I've already got one cut out. And so what you're going to do is you're just going to layer that right on top of the Celebrate that we stamped in Old Olive. And it's just a really neat little effect. It gives it kind of a neat little pop. So, but before I do that, I'm going to adhere the oval onto the scallop oval, and I'm going to use our tear and tape adhesive. Sometimes the glimmer paper can be a little difficult to find something that sticks, and tear and tape, excuse me, our tear and tape is pretty much foolproof. So I'm just going to put a little bit on either side, and then what I like to do is burnish one of the ends with my bone folder, and then use my scissors or my paper piercer, whichever's handy, just to get that backing strip off, and it comes off so much easier. Okay, so then let's just got hair everywhere. Okay, so whoops. So let's just layer that onto the scallop, if I can keep it straight. Ah. There we go. And then what I'm going to do is use dimensionals again, and I'll need to cut them in half and then just place them right along this, whoops, the celebrate that we cut out. Okay, I think one more will do. Okay, and then we're just going to layer that right on top of, like I said earlier, over the celebrate that we stamped in Old Olive. So it gives you a really neat 3D effect. Okay, so let's bring our card back in. So I'm going to be adhering this on top of the banner, kind of overlapping. Now, because we put dimensionals underneath this banner, we need to put dimensionals on the right side of the oval, but we need to layer it twice because it's already up one layer from, it's going to be attached to the banner. So what we need to do is we need to double up. And so how you do that is go ahead and put, I'm going to go ahead and do 3 dimensionals. Then I'm going to take the backing paper off, and then I'm going to layer another set of dimensionals right on top. And that will give us the height that we need to be able to attach this to the banner without it looking lopsided. Okay, got it. And then I'm just going to put a little bit of snail on this side. And then let's just come in and just attach it right there. And that card is all done. Just a sweet and simple birthday card. It can be a celebration card for another occasion that you may be needing to give. But here again is the sketch. And like I said, you can download this off of my blog. And if you have any questions, feel free to comment below. My goodness, my desk is all messy. Try to clean up a little bit. All right, so I hope you liked today's project. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you to everybody who has recently subscribed. Also, don't forget about my gift certificates for the holidays. So if you have any questions about that, you can always comment below or reach out to me over on my blog. And I think I've got 12 Weeks of Christmas, week 10 coming up later this week. All right, guys, have a great day. Bye-bye.